On the Monday evening, he'd had a call from his Arden Street flat. The students he'd rented to had Patience's number and knew they could reach him there. But this was the first time they'd ever had reason. The reason was Michael Rebus. "Hello, John." Rebus recognized the voice at once. "Mickey." "How are you, John?" "Christ, Mickey, where are you?" "No, scratch that, I know where you are." "I mean," Michael was laughing softly, "it's just I heard you'd gone south." "Didn't work out." His voice dropped. "Thing is, John, can we talk? I've been dreading this, but I really need to talk to you." "Okay. Shall I come round there?" Rebus thought quickly. Patience was picking up her two nieces from Waverley Station, but all the same. "No, stay where you are. I'll come over. The students are a good lot. Maybe they'll fix you a cup of tea or a joint while you're waiting." There was silence on the line, then Michael's voice. "I could have done without that." The line went dead. Michael Rebus had served 3 years of a 5-year sentence for drug dealing. During that time, John Rebus had visited his brother fewer than half a dozen times. He'd felt relief more than anything when, upon release, Michael had taken a bus to London. That was 2 years ago, and the brothers had not exchanged a word since. But now Michael was back, bringing with him bad memories of a period in John Rebus's life he'd rather not remember. The Arden Street flat was suspiciously tidy when he arrived. Only 2 of the student tenants were around, the couple who slept in what had been Rebus's bedroom. He talked to them in the hallway. They were just going out to the pub, but handed over to him another letter from the Inland Revenue. Really, Rebus would have liked them to stay. When they left, there was silence in the flat. Rebus knew that Michael would be in the living room, and he was, crouched in front of the stereo and flipping through stacks of records. "Look at this lot," Michael said, his back still to Rebus. "The Beatles and the Stones, same stuff you used to listen to. Remember how you drove Dad daft? What was that record player again?" "A Dansette." "That's it. Dad got it saving cigarette coupons." Michael stood up and turned towards his brother. "Hello, John." "Hello, Michael." They didn't hug or shake hands, they just sat down. Rebus on the chair, Michael on the sofa. "This place has changed," Michael said. "I had to buy a few sticks of furniture before I could rent it out." Already Rebus had noticed a few things. Cigarette burns on the carpet, posters, against his explicit instructions, sellotaped to the wallpaper. He opened the taxman's letter. "You should have seen them leap into action when I told them you were coming round. Hoovering and washing dishes. Who says students are lazy? They're okay." "So when did all this happen?" "A few months ago. They told me you're living with a doctor." "Her name's Patience." Michael nodded. He looked pale and ill. Rebus tried not to be interested, but he was. The letter from the tax office hinted strongly that they knew he was renting his flat, and didn't he want to declare the income? The back of his head was tingling. It did that when he was fractious, ever since it had been burned in the fire. The doctors said there was nothing he or they could do about it. Except, of course, not get fractious. He stuffed the letter into his pocket. "What do you want, Mickey?" "Bottom line, John, I need a place to stay. Just for a week or 2, till I can get on my feet." Rebus stared stonily at the posters on the walls as Michael ran on. He wanted to find work. Money was tight. He'd take any job. He just needed a chance. "That's all, John. Just one chance." Rebus was thinking. Patience had room in her flat, of course. There was space enough there even with the nieces staying. But no way was Rebus going to take his brother back to Oxford Terrace. Things weren't going that well as it was. His late hours and her late hours, his exhaustion and hers, his job involvement and hers. Rebus couldn't see Michael improving things. He thought, "I am not my brother's keeper, but all the same. We might squeeze you into the box room. I'd have to talk to the students about it." He couldn't see them saying no, but it seemed polite to ask. How could they say no? He was their landlord, and flats were hard to find, especially good flats, especially in Marchmont.